Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and that is the 40th anniversary collector's edition DVD Blu-ray combo pack of my all-time favorite horror film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And bear with me here, people, because I'm shooting this handheld. I'm working sans tripod because my tripod broke. So if I make any of you at home a little motion sick, I do apologize. But if you guys have followed me for any period of time, you know how much I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know that I hold it in such high regard. To me, it is the Citizen Kane of horror films. It is a watershed moment in horror history. And it's not only a watershed moment, I think, in just horror movie history. I think it's a landmark independent film, period. So what I want to do here is just kind of give you guys an overview of first the packaging and what the edition looks like, and then actually talk more in depth about, the special features, the 4K scan, the audio quality, the whole 9 yards. So first off, let's take a good look at the edition itself. And here we've got what I think is some very, very cool cover art. Of course, their iconic moment. The first time we see Leatherface in the film. Awesome, awesome sequence. And looks very, very cool. And what I do like about this packaging is that it feels very sturdy. It's very thick cardboard. It's not flimsy. Very sturdy like that. Here's the back. And here's all the special features. We've got some old special features. We've got some new special features. We've got 2 old commentaries. We've got 2 brand new commentaries. One from, of course, Toby Hooper. And then another new one from cinematographer Daniel Pearl, editor J. Larry Carroll, and sound recordist Ted Nicolau. We've got carried over from the old Steelbook DVD that Dark Sky Films put out a few years back. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Shocking Truth documentary, and Flesh Wounds, 7 Stories of the Saw, which those are incredibly in-depth, especially The Shocking Truth. I mean, anything and everything that you've ever wanted to know about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is in that documentary. Awesome documentaries there. We've got a tour of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house with Gunnar Hansen, Off the Hook, an interview with Terry McMahon, The Business of Chainsaw, an interview with production manager Ron Bozeman, new deleted scenes and outtakes, Grandpa's Tales, an interview with John Dugan, Cutting Chainsaw, an interview with editor J. Larry Carroll, deleted scenes and outtakes, blooper reel, outtakes from Shocking Truth, Horus Hallowed Grounds, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dr. W.E. Barnes presents Making Grandpa, Steel Gallery 40th Anniversary trailer, trailers, TV spots, radio spots. Tons of stuff there. Let's go ahead and open this baby up, take a look at it from the inside. That pulls out like so, and there's the inside. Very, very cool. Put that aside for now. And there's Leatherface in all of his glory. It opens up like so, and there we have the late great Marilyn Burns. May she rest in peace. Awesome, awesome moment there with her screaming her head off. Over here we've got Kirk walking into the Sawyer house, about to meet Leatherface, and then shortly thereafter meet his maker. It opens out like so, and there's from Gorgon Video, the Black Maria edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 40th anniversary. And as much as I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as much as I was looking forward to this 40th anniversary release, I could not drop the coin for this Black Maria edition, although it looks pretty cool. I've got to say, if you guys picked up the Black Maria edition, definitely let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Some other Gorgon releases. But yeah, the Black Maria edition. Pretty cool, just couldn't lay down that much coin for it. And here are the discs, and the Dark Sky's been a little deceptive. They're calling it a 4-disc release. Yes, there's 4 discs here, but they're Blu-ray and DVD. So they're the same thing, just 2 of them are Blu-rays, 2 of them are DVDs. We've got the feature presentation on Blu-ray and DVD, and then the bonus features on Blu-ray and DVD. So not quite a 4-disc edition, but yes, there's 4 discs. It's just really depending on what format you use, it's really just 2 discs. But anyway, we've got Terry McMahon there in the background with the chainsaw house swallowing her up. See if I can get these discs out to show you what that looks like. And no, not even going to try it. A little difficult the way that they've put these discs in there. As you can see how that sort of clasps on to the other disc, and they're in there pretty tight. And as you can tell, I don't have big long fingernails that are good for digging out that sort of thing. But yeah, folds open like so. There, of course, Marilyn, Kirk. What's on the back here? Yeah, that is on the back. Yeah, pretty solid edition, I think. Pretty well made, I have to say. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back in a moment and tell you guys about the nuts and bolts, tell you guys about the special features, tell you guys about the 4K scan, the audio quality, all that sort of stuff, and I will do that here momentarily. Alright, and to talk about the actual contents of the 40th Anniversary Collector's Edition DVD Blu-ray Combo Pack of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Dark Sky Films. First I'm going to talk about the extras, and the extras that have been carried over from the old Dark Sky Steelbook DVD. I'm not really going to talk about those in depth. The standouts, of course, are the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Shocking Truth, and Flesh Wound 7 Stories of the Saw. Those are awesome. If you haven't seen those, they are incredibly in-depth. Anything you could ever possibly want to know about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are in those documentaries. Excellent, excellent documentaries for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, really for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. A really cool new special feature that we get is Off the Hook, an interview with Terry Mcmann. And Terry Mcmann was one of the Chainsaw family who, you know, she didn't do a lot of interviews. She didn't go to conventions. She wasn't one of the cast that was really, you know, out there. You know, she kind of stayed quiet all these years. So it's really cool seeing an interview with her. She talks about, you know, the meat hook sequence, of course, being hanged from the meat hook. She talks about, you know, being manhandled by Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface, being dragged down that hallway, and talking about how, you know, every angle that they shot for that sequence, and there's multiple angles if you watch the movie. Each angle was like 50 different takes. So by the end of the day, and it took like a day and a half to 2 days to shoot all that. So by the end of it, she was, you know, voice gone. So she said she couldn't even walk afterwards. So pretty harrowing experience for her. Really cool interview with her. It was about 15-16 minutes. Another great new interview is The Business of Chainsaw, an interview with production manager Ron Bozeman. This one was about 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most. A lot of really cool stories from him. One behind the scenes story that I'd never heard before. Before they started shooting, he went to the town sheriff, and he informed the town sheriff, you know, we've rented out this house, we're going to be shooting this film here, so I mean, if you get any calls, people screaming, people being chased by this huge man wielding a chainsaw, it's just us. It's no big deal. You know, hey, if you want to come by the set and check out how we make a movie, come on by. Just, you know, open invitation. Whenever you want to come by, just come by. He also mentions how strict the drug laws were in Texas at the time, and that simple possession of marijuana could result in a sentencing of 2 years to life in prison. So Mr. Bozeman gets on the set, he goes to the house, he's wandering around, he goes out the back door, and what does he discover? A lot of marijuana plants. So he's just imagining, you know, oh, you know, the town sheriff, who I've graciously invited to just come by whenever he feels like it, is going to show up, see all this marijuana, and we're all going to jail for the rest of our lives. That was an excellent story. Lots of really cool stories by him on here. About, you know, the controversy after the film was made, and, you know, the film was, you know, bought by Bryanston Pictures, which was basically owned by these shady mob figures, and, you know, nobody really got the money that they deserved from the making of the film, and that whole thing. That was really interesting to hear him talk about as well. Cool stuff. Grandpa's Tales, an interview with John Dugan, a very spirited interview with John Dugan, who talks about being grandpa. He gets very emotional when it comes to Marilyn Burns, he's telling a story about Marilyn Burns and all, all that she went through on the set, and he actually breaks down. And I think this was done before she passed away, so definitely he had a lot of love for Marilyn Burns, and it definitely shows in that interview. But a really fun interview with him aside from that. Very spirited, very lively interview with him, talking about, some fun on the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and some not so much fun on the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the heat. Basically everybody going crazy in the heat. So it was kind of forced method acting. Really enjoyed that interview with him. We have Cutting Chainsaw, an interview with editor J. Larry Carroll. That one lasted, I don't know, maybe 10-12 minutes. Pretty nice interview with him. We have Horus, Hallowed Grounds, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was shot back in like 2006, so I think this is the first time it's been included on any Texas Chainsaw Massacre release. Very cool. Sean Clark going around to all the shooting locations, showing them off, talking to people who, own the establishments, the house, which is now a restaurant, the gas station, which I think is also a restaurant, going to the graveyard, stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff there. What else have we got on here new? New deleted scenes and outtakes. Basically, they are silent, just sort of, scenes that outtakes from the film. That was kind of interesting, even though there's no audio. You sort of see, it's kind of a behind-the-scenes look as well. You sort of see, how some shots were sort of maybe, thought up and rehearsed, and then, Toby or whoever didn't like, that angle or that shot or whatever, and then moved it. So, I mean, that was pretty interesting as well. We've got two new audio commentaries. I did listen to one about halfway through the film, the new one with Toby Hooper. Listen to it. There were some moments of silence thrown in there. It wasn't, a continuous sort of conversation with him and the moderator, but still pretty interesting stuff. Toby Hooper talking about, filming the movie and of course, the heat and some of the circumstances behind the film. As far as the picture quality, which a lot's been said about this 4K scan, and can they actually do a for real 4K scan of this movie, considering that it was shot in 16mm back in 1973. Now, I don't know, I'm not that much of a of a movie geek that I know all about all the different film stocks and this and that and how things are going to age or what have you. I will say that the movie does look pretty good. I have purposefully sort of avoided seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Blu-ray really up to this point, because for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is grungy, grimy, grainy, washed out, scratched. That to me is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is the VHS of Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I first saw many, many, many years ago, that left that indelible imprint on me. So I was I wasn't sure how I would enjoy seeing, a cleaned up, pristine, polished, beautiful version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't know if that would change anything for me about the film. And the film, it looks really good on Blu-ray. It's not very scratchy. There's still a little bit of grain involved, but there's a lot of clarity in the picture. There were things that, like for instance, at the very beginning of the film, the corpse that's tied to that's wired to the headstone. I never had noticed, or maybe I just hadn't paid attention before, but like it's actually like oozing and dripping like slime, or I don't know what. I'd never noticed that before. I'd never picked that up before in the VHS copies or the DVD copies of the film that I've seen before. And I'm sure that's probably unique to the Blu-ray, or maybe I just wasn't looking close enough. But I mean, God knows I've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre many, many, many times, and I never noticed that before. Other little things, just little details that I hadn't really picked up on before. Stuff with the corpses, just staining on some of the corpses and stuff like that. It's still a beautiful film. I mean, it's a beautiful film with the grain and with the washed out, saturated look, with the scratches. It's a beautiful film, and it's a beautiful film now with this. It really didn't take seeing the film this way didn't take anything away from me. It's still the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's still an immensely powerful film. And I think, honestly, you know, taking into account that it was a film shot on 16 millimeter 40 years ago, this is probably the best the movie is ever going, you know, to look. I don't have a 4K television, so maybe there, you know, on a 4K television, it's going to look even better. It's going to jump off the screen even more to me. Maybe some of the grain that's still in there will, you know, be gone. You know, I don't know. I don't have a 4K TV, but I will say it does look really good. I didn't notice any scratches in the film. A little bit of grain, like I said, but overall, picture quality looked really good. I thought the audio quality was fantastic. Audio quality was great. Really, the audio quality was great. I see a lot of Blu-rays. I watch a lot of Blu-rays, and to be perfectly honest, a lot of them I've got to turn the volume up like all the way. I've got to turn them up all the way. With this one, loud, perfectly audible, even at, you know, sort of mid-range volume level, sounded clear, sounded crisp, sounded really, really good. So the picture quality, the audio quality definitely are definitely good. Definitely good. The old special features that are carried over from the old, like I said, Steelbook Texas Chainsaw Massacre DVD that was released many, many years ago by Dark Sky are on here. They're great. The new special features that are on here are great as well. 2 new commentaries. I watched half of it with the Tobe Hooper one. It was pretty good. There's another one with cinematographer Daniel Pearl, editor J. Larry Carroll, and sound recordist Ted Nicolau. I'm sure that one's very good as well. Overall, I definitely do recommend the 40th anniversary DVD Blu-ray combo pack of Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Dark Sky Films. I really like the packaging of the set. I like the new special features. I think the picture quality and the sound quality definitely warrant a pickup. If you already own, you know, that DVD steelbook, if you got that Blu-ray that came out a few years after it, definitely I think this is one that you can double dip on. I think this is about 20 bucks on Amazon, which is where I pre-ordered mine. And it's definitely worth it. I recommend it. If you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you should own this. If you're a horror movie fan, period, you should own this. If you don't own the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on any format, now's the time to pick it up. This is a really good edition. I highly recommend it. And yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 40th Anniversary Collector's Edition DVD Blu-ray combo pack. They say it's 4 discs. Yes, there's 4 discs in here, but really there's only 2. But yeah, I recommend it. Go pick it up, check it out, and yeah, awesome movie. Love me some Chainsaw Massacre. Love it to death. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have picked up the 40th Anniversary Collector's Edition, please let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. If you have a 4K television, let me know what the picture quality is like of this release. And until next time, you guys take it easy. Peace.